Okay, so I'll be going over my trade for today. So um I switched my model. I don't trade GXT anymore. That's it's mostly because I just don't like it just seems like I can never get it. Like I've been trading GXT for a whole year and I don't really see myself like progressing at all. Like yeah, if I take a trade, I'll find out the reason, but I feel like I never actually improve. So this is why I'm switching to the expansion model. So here's what we see, right? So I'm looking at things a lot more differently. So on NQ, I don't really care about YM unless it's stronger or weaker to the thing where I want to trade on. I don't care. YM is like the couple; they can do his own shit. So um Tuesday, okay, this replay doesn't work, but Tuesday is a bank holiday, so the daily candle is like combined together. So we have the swing low hits the swing high. Um, how we traded higher even when this high is reached, we're not gonna just think, oh, price is gonna reverse. We're still favoring continuation here, and as you can see, you've got a lower time frame, the 7 hour, which is what we use for profiling. We have a breakout basically. You see how price just like disrespect it. I mean, it's clear if you see on the hourly. We just kind of break out that range. We're expecting like a breakout right here. So if I were to treat this like this daily candle on Monday is a real thing, then this should close bullish. But unfortunately, it was a bank holiday. So we will have to go into the 7 hour to really look at what the daily candle kind of closed. So if it closed all the way up here, we can assume that, oh, this is a valid breakout because it closed above. The next day, we'll still be looking for continuations. So this is bank holiday, right? So if I want price to continue, I want price to respect EQ of previous date range. As you can see, it doesn't really respect it that well. It goes all the way kind of into OTE, but regardless of that, I'm still not going to skip the whole day just because it did that. Instead, I'm probably gonna wait for what open does and see how price trades into levels. So 7 hour, you can see we have a 1 a.m. Linden reversal profile. I know he doesn't really care about like open. I think he still does about he cares about how the daily candle kind of forms, but he doesn't specifically um talks about it. But I think we will probably still use it. So how the daily candle forms, you can see. Oh wow, I have three ADRs, but you can see that we open low. This is kind of a large wick because the how I define large wick, if it's tradable or not, um, look at the ADR. It says it's 464, right? So here to here, this is like almost 50% of the ADR. But so usually when it's 50%, we just don't trade it at all. I mean, this is technically like really close to 50%, but in my eyes, just because of how the daily candle formed, we didn't chop around. We made the move when we made the reversal right here. So that's what I think is still a valid framework. If you go to I mean, 30 minute is basically the same story. Okay, actually, no, it's nicer. So on the 30 minute, right, you can see that price. So initially, if maybe today wasn't a bank holiday and maybe if the wick wasn't too large, I would probably just take an entry on the AM 8 a.m. candle, position my stop at this range low, and target for towards the ADR 2R 70, always 70 to 50% off at 2R. Um, but I wasn't awake, right? And then also, yeah, it's not. This isn't a very high probable trade as AM said today, just because how Monday was kind of a bank holiday, so we don't really have like the daily or we don't really have the previous daily candle to continue our ideas. So that's why anything pre-market he wasn't that big of a fan of. Instead, he wanted just for open to tell him the story, just for higher confirmation. when you're lost, just always wait for what 930 does, and you can trade your way from there. So um, you can see that we're continuing from this low of the day. So low of the day is established. We're getting a opposing candle, and we're CSing through the opposing candles. So at 930, right? At 930, we make the leg down and we make the leg up. So initially, I want my entry to be right here. So where I can take off 75% at 2R and maybe like show the rest. But unfortunately, at the time when this happened, still wasn't so sure about like what was going on because I woke up at like around 6:30. So it's my fault. I didn't really think about me taking this at all. So it took me a while to realize. So instead, I took it somewhere really high in this targeted 2R, and I got hit by a break even. So what we can learn from this. So ideally, I took the first entry right here, but if I miss it, technically my entry was valid because it was still validating the ADR since the ADR was I don't know why it's not showing, but it was like 463. So I was aiming for the 463 level, but it never got there. And I guess because we have a large wick or whatever, um, yeah, it never got to my ADR level and it just reversed. But this is what AM took. AM personally took this instead, the retracement, and just targeted 2R. I guess this is something that I could foreseen, but is not guaranteed. Yeah, this one, I mean, the next opposing candle, I don't know about this. Like, I guess this is quote unquote like valid for 2R, but this is kind of high. I don't really like this. This is way nicer. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I would have 100% rather took this entry and not market entered really high in the range. And I would have won today. So yeah, that's basically all. My feedback will be, again, I have to pay attention. I have to really pay attention to price, and that's the biggest lesson for the day. And the other lesson, I mean, about today is just AM didn't like pre-market, as I said, because we don't have a daily framework from yesterday because it was bank holiday. And otherwise, that will be pretty much it for today.